comics are new and they're out tomorrow, and we read them. And by we, I mean Miss Jen and Shanice. I read one. Well, kind of three, but like one. And Jen and Shanice are having some technical issues, so they're on their way here. And they're going to actually tell you about comics. I'm just here to tell you about a comic. But I wanna shout out everybody who's here. Castle, Barlord, Pastor Michael. Nope. I saw Preston was here real early. Shout out to everybody for being here for the show. There is one big book out that I don't think I saw anybody reviewing today that I wanted to mention. And it is the polybagged Invincible. Oh, Jen read it. Okay. Never mind. I'm going to walk away from that one. I'm not going to talk about the polybagged Invincible Battle Beasts. But what I am going to say is this. On Friday's FOC show, where me and Matthias every Friday talk to you about things that are on FOC, we warned y'all to order that book. And now, beginning to look like maybe not enough of you ordered that book. So, my reason for pointing that out is, like, if you guys tune into that show on Fridays at 1 o'clock Eastern, or you watch it on the rewatch Friday night or Saturday morning or whatever, before FOC closes on Monday, you can get in and order that stuff so that you don't wind up in these situations where we're definitely not going to have enough. So that's the thing. I really thought that little vamp would be enough to get Miss Jen and Shanice here. But guys, in case you don't know, Miss Jen's computer is from the last millennia, I guess, and has to restart every time she does a live stream because Windows upgrades. So, you know, that's a fun one for her. Jay?
Yep.
Where in the PowerPoint deck did you put my books?
Dead last.
Let's just skip to it.
Okay.
I'm going to review my books first, and then they're going to come on and review their books, and I'm going to go, like, home. Or something. So, do the thing. There we go. I read The Future Is hardcover, and The Future Is... The Future Is Martina, and The Future Is Sally. So, you know, I read these books. Jared, it is the most sold issue so far of the year, but again, under-ordered. Because not enough people called their local comic shop up and said, hey, I'm going to want to buy 8 of these. So, Triple B, I knew that answer yesterday. But not enough of you actually watched Talking Shop yesterday before Rex's show to have known the answer before he asked. So I'm calling you out for not watching Talking Shop at 5 o'clock, where the answer was actually revealed. Anyhow. So The Future Is a story about a group of what we're going to call freebooters in this book, but they are gray hat hackers. They are both good and bad guys, depending on your political alignment in the book. And what they do is essentially, have you ever seen that show Leverage? Have you ever seen that show Scorpion? It's like that, right? So you have a group of people with a very specific set of skills. A set of skills that make life miserable for people like you. No, I'm kidding. A set of skills that make life miserable for the rich and powerful who are ruining the world. As I adjust my camera slightly here. As it's falling down. Anyway. The rich and powerful who are kind of the ruling class of this world. They are working to sort of undo the power that they hold in a world where people no longer have rights, they have terms of service. You don't You don't have the right to a fair trial unless you've negotiated it in your terms of service. You don't have the right to your own freedom if you signed a contract that says that you are someone else's servant. You don't, and once you sign that contract, they can make you do whatever they want, whatever they want. There are implantable softwares that limit what you see through augmented reality. It is a crazy universe. And our team is not down with that. So in the hardcover first issue, which is also the Kickstarter, so there are things in this hardcover issue that will not make issue 1 when it hits the direct market in 2 weeks. There are things in there that won't make it when you get the direct market edition, and there are other things we'll talk about in a minute. But you find out the way the group sort of works, what all of their roles are in the team, including the dog, which you see there on the cover. His name is Arf. He has an augmented reality collar that makes him Art, which is super fun. So, and how they all work in this world, and it really is like this Ocean's 13 level heist, or like Leverage, where they're pulling a scheme to con people to to kind of get what they want out of the deal. So they're pulling a scheme essentially in this book, and you see how they all work together. It's a very interesting story. The vials on the cover are very important. This first book is a story of a guy who is trying to become immortal by siphoning off other people's blood and injecting it into his own. That is not that is not a spoiler, because it's been out there for a while. But what happens and how they deal with this and how they convince this guy to sort of change his ways and how it all pays off is a spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you. But it's a very interesting spoiler. Very interesting story. I really enjoyed it. It's a great book. Now, in this book and in the other 2 books I read, there is a CTF game, Capture the Flag. CTF in hacker parlance are games that hackers play where you solve puzzles. See CTF right there. Where you solve puzzles. And in this game, you get points. In this book, you get points if you solve the puzzles. In the book, you get points, and you can make it onto a leaderboard on Rekka's website. If you, out there in the experience land, buy the book from the experience, you do the CTF game, and you make the leaderboard on the Rekka website, send me a screenshot of you making the leaderboard, and I will put you on our leaderboard. Just know that you have to beat me. All of this book here, exclusively, is available on the EXP this week. It's available on all of our sales shows. So it'll be available on Wonderland next, and Kicking It with Henri later. It will be available on all of my live sales, all of the live sales the rest of the week, Miss Jen's live sales on Thursday, all of those things. Make sure you check that book out. The next book I read is actually the same series. The Future Is. This is The Future Is Martina. The way this book is set up is it's the story of one of the characters. You can kind of see her on the cover there. Where's she at? The blonde right there. Wrong way. The blonde. That is Martina. She is an Olympic athlete who is in a semi-abusive marriage. You find out in this book. And this group of hackers, the freebooters, led by their leader, save her from this semi-abusive marriage by using this guy's technology against him. So it's the story of how she came to be part of the team, the scheme that was pulled to make her a part of the team. And again, you've got this sort of Ocean's 11-y Leverage, Scorpion sort of storyline where it's you have to trust someone you don't know, but in doing so, you'll get everything you've ever wanted, but you owe them a debt at the end. And that's this story here. This is it's true. Scorpion was such a good show, and anything that had Catherine McPhee in it is a win for me. But this is the issue that introduces you to Martina. And then Sally is a woman, an older woman, like who is if a fight girl not it's not unlike that, Preston, but again, it is a pretty unique way of putting it. It is a pretty unique way of telling that story. So the future is Sally's an older woman, almost like from our era now. She does things old school. She makes references that we all would understand, where all of the younger people on the team don't get it because takes place in the future. But for almost a year, she has lived off Earth. She has lived off planet and has been like in space. And this is the story of how she comes back to Earth and joins the team. This is much more of an action thriller. This one is actually funnier than the Martina story, and it's certainly funnier than the hardcover. This one definitely has more comedy in it. There is definitely, I will say it now, a human waste-based laser almost. It's not really a laser, but it's a projectile of human waste that she uses at one point to escape her enemy. Yeah, Miss Jen is really late. I'm guessing that it's Windows has 90 million updates because she has a stupid Windows computer and not a computer that's better at these kind of things. So in this issue, again, it's how Sally becomes to join the team. And when Sally gets back to Earth, remember, she's lived in space for 10 years. So she has to have an astromech skeleton, exoskeleton, that makes her the sort of the fighter of the group, the Hulk of the group. And again, it's how she comes to join the group. There are other stories about how other people have come to join this collective. But it's a very interesting story. Both of these also have CTF games. So these are not available on the market yet. These were sent to me. These were sent to me as part of a review package for the show. But there are CTF games in both of these. So when they hit the market as standalones, make sure you pick them up. Let me text. How long? So those are the only books I read this week, guys, for the show. There are a lot of other great books out this week, including some of the stuff that Miss Jen and Shanice are going to review for you here in the next couple of minutes, hopefully. But in the meantime, I guess I will plug other things. If you are into this book, again, it's available on all of the EXP sales shows this week. This is the only place you can get it, guys. This is exclusive to the EXP. Unless you backed the Kickstarter and got it that way, you have to get it from us on the EXP. It's the only place you can get it. So the future is there. So you can pick it up on the next show on Welcome to Wonderland. AJ is doing the show by himself this week. I may hang out and just make sure he doesn't need any help. But AJ is doing the show himself this week. And then next week, or then after that, Kicking It with Henri. Then tomorrow night, Rex should have some on Comic Collectibles. We will likely have them available on Kyle and Jay's Q&A. Thursday, Miss Jen will have them on What's in the Box. And then Friday, Nancy will have them on Nancy's show on Friday Night Live. Then starting next week, all of our shows are able to sell these books anywhere you might find them. But anyway, you'll be able to find them anywhere any of the experience shows are on. Right now. Shanice is telling me that they restarted the computer and it's straight up on a black screen right now. I don't know if Windows wasn't updated in a while and is trying to force one, but I think it'll be another couple of minutes. So in terms of Kickstarters, I'm excited for it. No, TJ. Bigfoot Knows Karate obviously is one, but Jay already listed that. So I don't actually have any that I'm super hyped up for at the moment, just because I don't track them like Jay does. I kind of wait and hear sort of what's out there from my friends, what they're backing, what what people are saying, what sounds interesting, and then I back. I'm not excited because I've already got it, Jay.
Well, let them be excited about it. Henri, our very own Henri Compton.
What I was excited about.
Oh, okay. Well,
any
I'm excited
Kickstarters
for it.
you are excited for. I can't be excited if I already have the book.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, yeah, but no, Bigfoot Knows Karate is great. War Lion from Honorary, which is running right now, is great. RSVP ESP, which just ended, from Dirk Manning and Josh Mallerman, was very cool. Fair Square Graphics has a couple of things coming up that are very cool that I can't talk about yet. So again, there's a lot of stuff that like is out there, but I'm not the Kickstarter guy that Jay is. I'm not the follow Kickstarter kind of thing. Mainly because my heart and soul are always in the direct market. So if stuff is not coming to the direct market, it's not something that I actively seek out unless again somebody recommends it to me or points it to me. That's kind of the role. I think Jen is booting from 12 floppy disks, but they're 5.5-inch floppies, Ed. So you got to wait for it to make that grinding sound. It's a all right. So it's always fun. It's always an interesting. That's correct. You should avoid a 5.5-inch floppy joke, Derek. No, we can't talk about Battle Beast Castle because I haven't read it yet. But I am angry that people didn't get to their store and order it. So it sounds like it was pretty underordered. So you all should watch the FOC show on Fridays so you know how to do that kind of stuff. The art on the wall is my art, Corey. It's art. So yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about, to be honest. Like, I could have read some other stuff, but I didn't because those guys were reading all the good stuff. So
no, Corey, he didn't draw it. It's just, it's so old hat for Kyle to have art everywhere that he's just like, it's just my art.
Well, and I've done it like 3 times in the last week. So, other big books that came out this week that maybe aren't going to get talked about is the reprint of Assorted Crisis Events with the Riley Rossimo cover. That's a very cool one. If you haven't read Restored Crisis Events, it's very fun. An interesting book that's coming out now that just doesn't have any sense at all. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween special. Closer to Mother's Day. I don't know. Seems like a weird fit. Second printing of Dark Ritual, the Book of Nyx #1, but also Book of Nyx #2. Dark Ritual, Book of Nyx #2, which features my favorite cover, which is the Danny Earls variant. The story behind that cover is that Thomas Healy found what would be that cover at a convention on like a sketch card and bought it and licensed it just so it could be a cover for that book, just because it was so perfect. It was never meant to be a cover. We're finally getting what I think is maybe the most important issue of Alex Segura, Michael Morency, and Geraldo Borges's Dick Tracy from Mad Cave, which is the reveal of the blank. It's going to be the end of that story. It's going to be the end of really the second big story arc in the Dick Tracy story. So that's going to be an important issue if you're reading that. Again, Castle, you keep naming off books that those guys are going to review, man. So, like, I'm not going to talk about them. A book that we missed, I think we probably didn't review as well as we should have when it came out, is Golden Rage, Mother Knows Best, #2. Golden Rage, guys, is Great British Bake Off meets The Golden Girls meets Battle Royale. We send all of our old people, all of our old women to a private island or to a secluded island where they bake and hang out all day and fight to the death. Seems like a pretty good story to me. I really enjoyed issue 1. I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer #2 is out. I just read I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer #1 about 2 days ago. Which is, it's a crazy concept, man. It feels like a manga put into a comic book. I'm excited to read issue 2 because issue 1 made very little sense to me. All right, Miss Jen and Shanice have returned from the Amish.
Oh my gosh.
You know, if only you could restart your computer, I don't know, hours ago before the show started.
You know, I was in this room for a whole half an hour before the show started, but the computer was all behaving then. I literally went to go click on the Tuesday block and on our live thing early, and it was dead. She needs to tell you. I clicked on it a million times.
You know what I have to say to that, Miss Jen?
Yep.
Icky, again, whoop boing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So since I talked for 25 minutes about one book, I'm going to leave.
Fastest reviews ever. It is, Pastor Michael. Correct. A whole half. Yay, Huck. All right. Mark Millar is dope. He makes really cool books. Huck, the first series, which came out forever ago and had a lot of promise and a lot of buzz. I think there was even rumors about a show. I don't know where it is in that regard. But so this is his world. I don't know if it's attached to the rest of his universe that have soups in it or not. It would be really cool if it was part of the Ambassador's universe, for example, but there's no reason to believe that. So in this universe, there are 2 people who believe they're the only 2 people that have any kind of super abilities. But Huck is kind of like this really clean cut, imagine kind of like a 50s guy. who in this book, when we meet him, he's found love. And so his power is essentially that he can, as long as he knows the name of somebody, he can go to wherever they are. Like, I don't know if it's instant or if he just like goes there super fast. Or if he has an object that's tied to them. So, I mean, that's kind of a cool superpower. And plus, I think he's super strong and all those kinds of things. So, yes, it has really hard. And this one's going to like really like make you a little bit sad for him. Because he, you know, at the very beginning of the book, while he's saving some guys that are like stuck on a boat at sea, he is also showing them, look, I bought this little fuzzy bear heart for my girl. And then super stalker, no. Mark Millar is very much ruling everything. He's the guy that brought you Kick-A and a million other things you've seen on TV and will see on TV. So they've been picking up. I think that Netflix has first look rights for all of his stuff. So jump in here. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to have read the original Huck series, but I know that you can pick up the original Huck series, which I think it's like 4 for really inexpensive. So go get it.
All new, all deadly Gwenpool. So this one I was very curious about, just reading the solicits for it. And I enjoyed it. And yes, everyone, they're in on the joke and it can get super meta. But I kind of felt that it's like, I don't know, like you can be aware of like how silly like the premises or how silly like this book is, and it can still kind of be like it's, I don't know, like, but this
Pocket pool. Side pocket. Oh
yeah, but it's all worth checking out. It got like pretty like graphic, like as you can see like on the cover, like someone's just beheaded. I don't know, just getting like slashed across the face. And yeah, like of course like she's like a super meta character, but like it's the meta-ness in this issue was, it didn't work as it did when it with previous books featuring this character, is what I'm trying to say. It's people's mileage, like they may vary on this one. If you like Gwenpool, check it out. That's my review. I know we're trying to bust it through as quickly as we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me if you notice the same thing, Shanice, that like Marvel has recently felt like they've been much more free with their, like, even without putting red band things on the cover or saying it's, you know, parental advisory, whatever, like warning. They've been doing a lot more open, like like this blood splatter in the past would have put it behind a poly.
I agree. Like I think it's kind of one of those, generally is like pushing it. I think it's rated T+, and it really is like making good use of that rating. Again, it's just like the character, check it out. It's probably gritty. Yeah, if you like grit, this is the book to read.
Yeah, I kind of have a problem with, like, I like her normal colorway. I don't know why. I just have a hard time getting over any other colors. All right. Oops, that's loud. Sorry. I'm going to turn that off. All right. Geiger. This is awesome. So the glowing woman, who has a name now that I can never remember. It's one of those cool alliterative names. It's AA. Whatever her name is. They have been butting heads in recent issues. Tarek has figured out that she's been lying because he finds the guy who she says is her kind of like mentor, doctor somebody, who she says was dead. No, it's not, it's Geiger. And she is intending to like blow up a nuke that's at the bottom of this military facility. Meanwhile, she's not like Geiger, who is like, he only will really kill if he has to. And she like will just melt people for no reason. There you go. Ashley Arden, thank you. She's pretty vicious. So we're not really sure what I think she's wanting, like, she uses the nuclear energy a little bit different than Geiger. He kind of like almost, if he's around it too much, he'll kind of like uncontrolled explode. And she seems to be able to control her stuff a little bit more. Geiger, ha 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 ha, Steve, that's really good. So I'm still loving this. This one has Junkyard Joe in it. There's a big thing that happens to his character in regard to his past catching up with him. And you still get to see some Barney, which is the double-headed dog. So what's not to like?
Interdrawn Universe. Basically, this was the Free Comic Day special that came out a couple weeks back. But it definitely does it's building up hype for like the next, because you read more this than I have. It's building up towards this big crossover event that's going to be happening. If you're following Transformers, G.I. Joe, and it was revealed in this issue, another franchise or property from Hasbro.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, think about it. What else could there be now? Hold on. So it could be the He-Mans. It's like the only other thing I can think of. Oh, that's a good one. That makes more sense, honestly.
So it's definitely setting up for that. But yeah, honestly, with this one, if you've read a Free Comic Day one, or if you've read what happens in it, then it's nothing. It's basically like a reprint of the free book.
I think this is the one Free Comic Book Day book, other than the ones that there were just little tiny print runs of that people were trying to hunt down that not everyone ordered. This was the one that everyone really wanted to have. That like Steve, who is Shanice's significant other, was helping us, did not know that we actually had our copies at one of our like interactive stores we were like working with. Mm-hmm. So he was sending everybody to another store, like another comic book store, which we like those guys, so it's fine. But it was just like, no, you're supposed to be sending them to where we're trying to get people to go over and enjoy this new game place. I went back there and he's like, oh, I've been sending everybody away. He did such a great job. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's free comic books.
Yeah. We love our other comic homies.
I'm your Huckleberry. Isn't that in everyone's everyday talk? And what does that mean to you? If you say you're someone's Huckleberry, what does that mean to you, Preston? All right. So as you guys know, I talked to Thomas Healy, who's normally is a big time editor for Image and sometimes gets to write for them. So this is one of his titles, Black Ritual. It deals with Nyx, who in the last issue got to see a little bit of her back history, but it actually it was kind of like a groundbreaking book because so for the future, if you guys are like going, what would make Black Ritual #1 a book that I would want to go back and invest in having a couple copies of? It's because it introduces the idea of magic into the Spawn universe, which before then didn't have magic in the sense of like witches magic at all. It only had the heaven and hell related power. So this is really cool, dark. You're getting to see her flex her muscles in the universe as people start coming for her. So you might consider this just as a great series to figure out how magics are going to figure into the interaction for the characters, which is cool.
Supergirl #1. So this is excellent kickoff to the summer of Superman, and it did everything right in like the first issue. It has fun Easter eggs, references to for Supergirl fans that's been following this character for decades. And it's also very new reader friendly. That it's like, oh hey, so this is so and so. And it basically hits like all the I guess we call it like a bullet points of like, this is her deal, this is her alter ego and all this jazz. And it was a really well done like a debut issue. I'm not sure that the creator, if this is her first comic or not.
No. So I met So at Comics Pro.
Okay.
She's so awesome. Follow her. She's amazing and also very humble. She won't ever tell you she's dope, but she's awesome.
Oh yes, like this was a really fun issue. Like I really do encourage people just to check it out, give it a shot. And I really am digging her new costume, like her new look, when the first time we saw it, like when it was revealed, I guess. But this was really, really fun. And the antagonist in this issue, like, they did a really good job in making me just like despise her. And I really want to see like the inevitable fight.
You and your battles.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, Preston. It's we were talking about the I'm Your Huckleberry. The other version of that is maybe kind of like, it's not really on your left. What's the other one? He says, with you to the end of the line. Gonna show up. Okay. Battle Beast. Okay, I'm gonna out myself right now as saying my exposure to Invincible has been relegated to the show, because the last time they had any issues of Invincible, that was like 2016, and I hadn't started from the beginning because it started way back in, I don't know, 2008 or something. So it was before I opened the store. So I had this little like gap, and there's a million other things to read. It wasn't because I didn't want to read this. I just didn't. It wasn't in my wheelhouse yet. So you don't need to know anything about Invincible, because this whole first issue doesn't really touch on anything really Invincible universe character-wise. So it just introduces you to this dude. So Battle Beast essentially only really wants to have someone that challenges him, which he's not been able to find. And so this is, if you were talking about like, I would have a book where there's battling going on. You got it. You got it. It's really cool because he doesn't have any other characters really that he interacts with on the regular, except for somehow the ship that he is on, that he has killed everybody in, has an onboard computer who has not talked at all until, realizes that no one's talked for a long, long time. And, I guess he believes the Battle Beast can't kill him, although Battle Beast does ask, I'm going to tear the ship apart until I find what makes you go. So anyway, the way that they end up making kind of like a deal about the computer surviving is kind of a very interesting thing. So this is really cool. Also, I am certain that you guys all know that there is a sealed polybag version of this book in which there are some known variants. There's like 3 different foils. I know you guys have seen all this online. So there's 3 foils, one of which is a reprint of an old Marvel book, which is one of the first appearances. And those are great. There's 3 other regular covers, but you can also potentially get the 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 100, 1 in 1000. And the way they described it is that the 1 in 1000 is there's only 1 in every 1,000 copies of this thing. So it is kind of like the opening it up and getting like, oh, I got Space Set Charizard, woo! But anyway, they're inexpensive enough at $3.99. You could just buy a bunch of them. We kind of bought them that way that people could just buy 10 of them for fun.
Oh, I can't unsee that.
Big part of that is true. It's the same skirt. Oh, wow. Yeah. Why not? You want a golden ticket? Yeah. So you guys, please let us know on the experience tomorrow if anyone got any like really awesome things. I was kind of hoping when they said that they wouldn't tell us what was in them, that there'd be like, they would sneak in some sketches or something, but I haven't heard anybody say that that's occurred. So who knows? You can't put anything past Kirkman.
Godzilla versus X-Men. So, I'm pretty sure I said this like the last time when these Godzilla versus books came out, but I've been really having a blast with all these. And this one has some beautiful like splash pages. I was like turning the comic around, like, oh, look at all this art. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one was, again, they've all been really enjoyable. This one is no different. but this one, the tone of it was a bit more serious. It wasn't as like, like, hey guys, we know what this sounds like. It's Godzilla versus whatever Marvel character. Just it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be fun. And this one is still very enjoyable, but like it really is more bittersweet, previous to like the other ones. And it's also, I guess it's like the whole like Godzilla thing, right? It's like you have your serious Godzilla movies with social commentary, and you have the loud Godzilla movies that are just like this big, loud, and fun. So that's the vibe I kind of got with this one.
There's a 1 in 2,000.
Oh wow!
So jealous.
Congrats. Oh my goodness, 1 in 2,000. Jeez. But yeah, it's like this has been a very fun like series, just to follow, and it's always cool to see Godzilla interact with these characters, and you're just wondering how can they take on like a giant radiated lizard? But then it's like, okay, I guess we got our answer.
So I have a question for you. Would Godzilla technically classify as a mutant?
I don't think so. Do you think
He was exposed to radiation, and it changed him genetically. He's an X-Men. Fight me.
So his lawyers are on their way as we speak. And now they're calling you.
By the way, Castle, if you have opening video of you getting that one, the 2000, could you send it to us? Because we would love to broadcast it. That would be so cool. Sketch cover signed by Ollie. Okay, so I thought that might be true, that there might be something like actual sketchy in there. Not sketchy, but you know what I mean.
Thank you, Eddie. See, that's a valid point too.
Godzilla's never a human. Do we not have any mutant animals? What's the horse from Uncanny X-Men right now?
No, I mean, so
I mean, other than horse. Sorry, spoiler alert. Oh my word. Okay. Uncanny X-Men, we're talking about it right now. Dark Artery has gotten really dark. This already happened in the last issue, so I'm sorry if that was any kind of spoiler for you. But got our sweet youngins here who have found themselves up against it. Simone is just killing it with making me love these guys. And what's so cool about this issue, honestly, if you're like going, I don't know, I don't have the first 13 issues, but I kind of want to jump in. This one's neat because it has, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 pages in. It actually has, by way of explaining to another character, they actually introduce all of these characters again. They're like, this is this person's name, this is what their ability is, and this is what you know about them, right? And so it clarifies a lot of stuff. Like if you weren't 100% certain about how their powers worked or what they were capable of that we know of so far, it works really well. So do really jump in here. And just, every single issue that you read, you have to remember that one of these characters is going to be responsible for the death of everybody. No big.
No big. Godzilla, here there'll be aliens, so always good to have like a pretty heavy Godzilla / kaiju week. So this one, I didn't like it quite as much as Godzilla versus X-Men, but I did appreciate the whole, like, it's got like this like 1950s like sci-fi film vibe to it. I think my only beef was it's like the main character, he was just so like not the best. Like
dislikable or
dislikable, but and I think the thing is, as terrible as it sounds, I don't think he was supposed to be written like that. He's supposed to be written as like this cool kind of quirky character, but it's just like, oh, you are just annoying. Like I want to get to Godzilla or
maybe Frank was pissed off at somebody.
Maybe like like he wasn't in the best moods when he wrote this book. Yeah, just
saucer. You guys are on fire today.
Yeah, it's like, for the hardcore Godzilla fan, if you just need more of like Big G in your life, definitely check this out. I can't really recommend it to people who just have like a passing interest in Godzilla. Unfortunately, I thought it was all right. If you had to pick between the two Godzilla books, go towards Godzilla versus X-Men.
Don't we need Jet Jaguar? Asking about the UFO kaijus. Maybe there's one from 2000. I'm just gonna look that up. And I don't know who did this cover. Can anyone look it up? Corey must know. It is gorgeous. Also, he just manages to step on just about everything, doesn't he?
Yeah, just not a care in the world, just smash.
I can't wait. Does he have like a really good thigh master or what? Pharaoh Hanish. Ooh, someone I don't know yet. Now I'm gonna follow them. All right, one more Doom. Last issue was really, really great. So if you guys aren't doing the main series, doesn't matter if you do all the little side series, although the Thunderbolts one from a week ago or 2 weeks ago was awesome. This is so cool because it's literally Dormammu showing up and saying, hey, Victor. Let's call him Victor, which is funny. Victor, you've been doing everything right for yourself, very self-focused, but you haven't been doing the one job you really actually have, which is Sorcerer Supreme, Protector of Earth. And so this issue starts out with basically Dormammu removing everyone from the planet, putting them in a pocket universe somewhere, and then challenging Doom to basically a giant duel. It's really cool to see them butt heads. It's kind of like watching the film when Doctor Strange and Dormammu battle each other, and it's kind of like a battle of wits. Who knows the magics better? Who's used the magics to better? But yeah, it's a great read for seeing what the Eye of Agamotto is able to do, what Doom can do just as like regular magics, and what tricks Dormammu has in his sleeve. So cool. Video that shows 100,000 win with this. You did for your store. Awesome. Well, we're happy to share it. We're about raising up our fellow stores.
Exquisite Corpses. So there's a lot of buzz, a lot of hype around this one. It is absolutely deserved. I know people are going to say, oh, it's just like a Purge ripoff. It's like, no, this is...
Put the Eddie joke up.
It's gonna let everyone enjoy that joke. It's really
yeah.
No, but like this is great. The idea of like that our country that is not like the government, like it's the government doesn't really run anything, but it's really controlled by like 13 families that's existed since like way back when. And they just like every once a year they just decide to have like this like battle royale with like different assassins is so cool. And something I really liked in this issue is how each assassin, they have their own little like how in like movies they have like the cool like character like title cards.
Oh yeah.
In video games too. And each one is so unique, and I love all the different like typefaces that they use for each one.
It's like they stop action and then they go,
yeah,
John Wick, BA,
and it's so great. And they had also a really interesting twist in the weapons, and I definitely agree. It's the book of the week, especially like for me personally. I'm sure when Jen, did you get a chance?
It's so funny now that you're talking about it. I was like, I totally did read this book, but like 6 months ago. It's awesome.
It's so great. Like definitely like run to your comic store tomorrow and grab a copy, because this is gonna be a fun one, and it's also got this nice little like a bracket at the end. You can like fill it out to see who you think is gonna win.
And also there's a polybag version of this. I don't know if we got it or not, but they have cards. Each one of the issues has a card in it. You can collect the cards amongst all of the polybag numbered ones.
It's also really gorgeous one for store cover too. But like yeah,
foily.
This one it's also like a really good like fall Halloween book as well. So but it's still like it reads like perfect now. But I really care for like the for the characters that you meet in this issue, and I am hoping that they'll survive at the end of this series. But genuinely loved it. It's so good. I really want to read it again, and I'll be adding it to my pull list. That's how much I loved it.
Oh, it's serious.
It's super serious. Yeah, it's a really good, like, when you read it, Triple B or BBB, I don't know how you would prefer me, Triple B. It's a good Halloween, Summerween book too. I guess
Summerween, that's a new thing, right?
Well, going back to the conversation we had like on the last show or last 2 shows ago. Yeah. Super good.
Doesn't it have a little bit to do with the town people watching all this happening?
Sorry, one more time.
Doesn't this have a little bit to do with the people of this town watching this stuff go on around them?
Yeah, and that's what's kind of like, it's. I really want to read like the second issue, because I don't want to like give away too much about how the town people, how they're gonna be affected by all this. But for people saying, "Oh, it's like the Purge," it's like, no, it's not. This is very different. It's a different scenario. Like, it's just. Oh man, like once it's revealed about how this town, how they're going to be involved in all this, it's like, oh, this would suck so much.
And that's all of our reviews, right? Are we done to the end? No, I still want to get it right. Absolute Batman. It's awesome. This character kind of like hovering over him. That's supposed to be Mr. Freeze, right? Am I getting it right now?
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze. For some reason I was like, well, that's very skinny Bane, because I know that Bane's supposed to be revealed in this issue, so that's been all over the internet, so I'm not spoiling anything for you. So Bruce has been captured by him and is slowly freezing him to death, but it's part of his overarching plan of freezing all of the very famous or influential people in all of Gotham. I'm not really 100% certain what his end game is in that regard, but it's beautiful, and in its normal, like, you always know you're going to get to see one of Batman's toys we haven't seen yet / weapons, and you'll definitely get to see it for this one also. And yeah, continues to be 100% awesome, but you're also, if you're collecting first appearances, you definitely need this one. Now, remember to get the future is blah, so you can be on the leaderboard for hacking and getting to read a really great book. This is awesome work by Fred Van Lente, and I can't recommend it highly enough. You can only get this book. This is the Kickstarter only book, so unless you got into the Kickstarter, you can only get this book through the Experience shows. That's it. Nowhere else. So then you have to wait until the end of this month to buy the individual issues as they're released to your LCS. So you can read it and then be like, yes, this is definitely something I want to add to my pull box, and get into the challenge game so you can win some awards. Free Hellcutter. That's it. That's what we're doing. All right, everybody, go out and support your local comic shop. If you're away from your local one, like we say, go to comicshoplocator.com and use your zip code to figure out where the ones are around you. Always call ahead and see what their actual hours are. Sometimes we forget to go into the Googles and say we're not open on this day. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for being so patient. Sorry my computer was being complete, but I was really worried that it was just like not ever going to happen.
Well, stress-inducing 25 minutes we've had today.
Yeah. And we say, me. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.